is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. This is my good friend Will, aka Cooking with Clams on YouTube. He is back from New York finally, and long story short, we had well, we were supposed to have a little weather window this afternoon. The wind was going to die down. It's been blowing like crazy. It was supposed to be like 10 out of the north. It's actually 15 out of the east, which a little breezy, not bad for the winter, but we're gonna try and do an afternoon Wahoo mission. I don't have a ton of time, so I'm not gonna talk a lot, but essentially what we're doing is going out to the deep blue water. I'm gonna jump in with a giant gun and a big line and a float hook to it, and put some shiny stuff in the water, and hopefully a Wahoo will swim by. It is 2:30 right now, so we've only got a few hours of daylight left, so I'm gonna hop in. I'll do a little bit more talking once we get beneath the water, and I'll see you in there.
What do you want?
So Will's gonna be fishing topside while I'm drifting, just doing some jigging and whatnot. So if you want to check out that video, go over to Cooking with Clams. Thank you, sir. Welcome back underwater, everybody. As always, I do appreciate you tuning in. Talk a little bit. There's not a ton to talk about here, but we'll talk about a couple things. I had a pretty awesome encounter with a shark. I did end up shooting a fish, but for the most part, pretty quiet video. A couple things I wanted to ask you guys, and you can leave a comment below. I want to, once I have some more free time after this year, I want to make some extremely in-depth videos as far as like gun rigging, blue water, reef stuff, and just try and make some very specific, comprehensive videos on spearfishing, on the gear we use, and make a playlist and throw all of them on there. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, and there's enough of you that want it, I'll spend the time to do it. I know blue water's one of the ones that a lot of people ask about as far as the slip tips, what kind of gun, float line floats, stuff like that. So I've done some way in the past, but they were pretty loosely done and they weren't really dedicated. So long story short, as I always say, if that's something you'd like seeing, please let me know, leave me a comment, and we'll get started on those. So this gun I'm shooting here is a 3-band Koa 130 with a slip tip. I'm using Spectra on the slip tip. Sometimes we use cable if the sharks are really bad, but typically this is my go-to setup. I fluctuate the guns sometimes, just depends who's on the boat. A lot of people borrow guns. I have several blue water guns, but this is the one I decided to use this day, and pretty much all I'm doing is sitting here on the surface waiting, working these flashers. Those flashers are those shiny things down below me. That's what attracts fish. It's supposed to mimic bait fish. And that's what I do. Just sit and wait. You gotta be very, very patient. And these videos specifically, I think, the blue water drifting, are extremely difficult to capture the amount of time I'm actually sitting here doing this. This day particularly, I think we got out there, I can't remember, like 2 o'clock, and we left right before sunset, so it was 5:45. So over 3 hours of just laying face down in the water, staring into the abyss. Some days, you know, we do 7 or 8 hours just sitting there drifting, waiting for that right fish to come in. So finished up my first drift. I didn't see any Wahoo. I saw, right when I jumped in, a nice Zero mackerel, but my gun wasn't loaded. A couple of schools of bonita. Will was popping some bonitas topside, which is good. The Wahoo actually like to eat those little pocket bonitas, but the reality of blue water spearfishing and Wahoo is they're sought after for a reason. They're hard to find. There is a very real possibility that you can go out and not even see one the entire day. So that's just a part of it, but long story short, first drift, no dice. I'm gonna get set back up on a different spot, give it another go. This particular day, the spots weren't really, I won't say super lively, but I was seeing bonita, a bunch of little baby bonita, which I like to see. The Wahoo love to eat those. I saw a few triggerfish. There was a couple cereal mackerels in and out here and there. Like I said, it wasn't bustling, but I was seeing enough that I would like to see. This particular day, we were just working really deep ledges. I know a lot of people ask about where we are mainly on these types of Wahoo spots or days. Obviously, I can't tell you exactly where I am, but typically I'm working some type of structure, whether it's a deep wreck or really deep ledges or you know, a nice temperature change, color change, or rip or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Woo. What's going on? Oh, that'll get the blood pumping. Oh, I hope my camera was on. I think I have to change my wetsuit.
I heard you yell.
Oh, it was so funny. Hold on. Oh, it's too funny.
All right, so second drift, again, nada. I think my camera was on. I was wrapping up my flashers. If you saw it, you already know. And I turned around and there was a big hammerhead, maybe probably conservatively 8 foot, right behind me. Not, he didn't coming in aggressive. He was just checking me out to see what I was doing. But I'm not gonna lie, it startled me pretty good. But I'm gonna set up for another, move to a different spot. Oh, while I was sitting in the water, you'll love this. I came up with the perfect way to describe drifting for Wahoo. So it's like if you call your friend and say, hey, I need you to make me a reservation at a restaurant, but don't tell me what restaurant it is. And then you just go to restaurants and you're sitting in there waiting for them to call your name, but you don't know if you're in the right restaurant, but you don't want to leave the restaurant you're in because you might be at the right one.
No, I don't think your explanation is what drifting's like. The fact that that's where your mind was at while you're drifting,
while I was drifting,
is what describes drifting. That it's just, you're almost in, what are those called? The, like, where it has no feeling, you're just...
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just like...
the pods where it's like...
I'm to the point where I'm starting to see stuff.
Yeah, sensory deprivation.
Anyways, I'm gonna hop back in. I got a good feeling about this drift. Drift number 3. Let's give it a look. Alright, this is the one.
Counting on you.
Me too. So seeing that hammerhead was really cool. I see quite a few of them in the wintertime. It's just a little early for them, and I'm not gonna lie, sharks don't really make me uncomfortable or anything. It just, the fact that it just popped up right behind me and I was not expecting it, it scared me pretty good. But that was a treat to see. Those hammerheads are always a treat to see. So we were coming up towards the end of the day, and I had asked Will if I saw any triggerfish, if he would like one for his channel. I had Wahoo on the brain, so nothing was going to scratch the itch for me. But I asked if he wanted one to cook on his channel, and he said sure. So decided I'd drop down and pop one of these. They are delicious. I just, like I said, I had Wahoo on the brain, so wasn't in the mood to eat one of them. But I know Will can do something much better with it than I will. So again, long story short, decided to shoot him one. He's gonna cook it up on his channel, cooking with clams. So if you want to see what he does with that, head over there. I'm not sure when this video will come out or the timing on him. It may be a little delayed on his, but he's always doing something new and delicious. And if you like cooking, be sure to go over there and check out his channel. And I always show braining and bleeding of most of my fish. The triggerfish are a little different. Their gills are more like slits instead of the open gill slices like on a regular fish, but you can actually still bleed them. Just run that knife through that little slit and then kind of up towards the throat. You can see if you hit it right, it'll still bleed just as well as a regular fish. Well, that is all I've got. Unfortunately, you can't win them all. We did blank on Wahoo. Shot a triggerfish. What are you gonna do? Something on your channel?
Yeah.
Will's gonna make something on his channel.
Because we had that ceviche the other day. I want to make a little. I'm craving ceviche. We're back in the Keys.
Yeah.
We got to do ceviche.
Well, you're back in the Keys. I've been in the Keys. He's gonna try and recreate a ceviche that we had. So if you want to see that, go over to Cooking with Clams. I know these aren't the most popular episodes, but from time to time I do like to leave some reality in there. I think you get a false sense of what actually goes on out here. You think we just go out every single time and just tear it up and get all kinds of fish, but that's just not the way that it is. So that's the end of my preaching. We will see you on the next one. Later.